I have I have already been listen, this this little dog just came busting in here like she means business, okay? Like she is not playing the radio with my ass trying to lock her out of here. So she, this bitch. Puffin, what are you doing? She's like, I don't know who you thought you were locking out of this room, but bitch, I got news for you. Like, I shut my bedroom door, but I guess I didn't shut the middle bathroom door. So she just came busting up in here and jumped on this bed like she was going to do something about my ass. Like, what is up with this damn dog? Oh my Jesus. So anyway, how are you? How was your week? How's everything been?
It's been very busy.
I
Very, very
figured.
busy.
Well, so So you got the update on Laura Ingalls Wilder that I sent to you.
Yeah.
I want you to know that when I told you about this crazy shit, that I wasn't even aware of the triplet situation. That's already 5 kids deep. B. You hearing me? Already 5 kids deep. And what? Uh, what? Like, do you? There's a reason that people don't have that many kids anymore, dude. And it's because number one, you're not farming. I got her. You're not farming any longer. Okay. So like you don't need 9 children in the fields to, I mean, why would you do that? Why would you do that? I don't
The only people that
give me
I've
one good
known
reason.
who actually have that many kids, I mean, there there were the Mormons. Always had at least like five from the families that I remember growing up. People who that are like live kind of off the grid,
Uh-huh.
but like not normal people who live in suburbs. It just I don't know. It
No.
doesn't make any sense to me.
No, nobody that is like you know, nobody that has TVs that celebrates holidays. Like it just doesn't happen anymore, and there's a reason for that. It's because of inflation. Okay, we cannot we can't afford that many kids. Like there's no I don't I've been racking my brain, I want you to know. And all I've been thinking to myself is if I could come up with one good reason, one absolute, okay, that's a great reason, you know, then maybe I wouldn't feel like I have so many questions. Like, I guess to me, I wonder now that I know that about the pregnancy and whatever, was that his reasoning?
Well, okay, so does she work?
No, she homeschools
Oh,
and
that's right. Okay,
then
that's right.
uh-huh.
So I guess we're kind of getting back to the
Yep.
original thing in the first place was just, I mean, even with five, you know, I mean, financially that puts such a strain that
Uh-huh.
I cannot. I'm with you. I can't fathom how
No.
adding more would help
No.
anybody,
No.
But I do know that there's a very small group of people who just believe in that kind of like adding more blessings and like
Yeah,
this
they're
whole like
called
kind of
they're
holistic
called Irish Catholic.
what
And listen, even the Irish Catholics don't even request that of you anymore, okay? Like okay, here's the thing. 5 kids, it's pushing it, B. It's really pushing it, but you can make it. You know what I'm saying? Like bitches ain't starving in a gutter. You can squeak it out with like rice. You know what I mean? And like
rice and beans.
yeah, I mean, basically, you'd have to because that's essentially all you can afford. I mean, you got to feed so many damn people. So I'm wondering now, what would make you think that it's a good idea to have 5 kids already and then go ahead and want to lace some more on that. Like, what about that said to you, this is a great idea? I feel like this is the best idea we've had all year. Don't you agree, babe? This is a fantastic idea.
Well, I mean, she's already, her thought process is already just way over in left field to begin with.
Uh-huh.
So if she is not thinking about the realities of having 3 more kids on top of the 5,
Bro.
how
Okay.
you and I, normal people, would think,
Right.
maybe her mind just is not processed like that. Like she doesn't think about it in terms of how is this financially, economically, logistically feasible. It's just maybe it's just like, I want more for whatever reason. I don't know the reason. I still don't know
Maybe
the reason.
because she's an anti-vaxxer, so she's got to have, emergency ones in case the other ones don't make it. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't that what we were doing back in the day anyway? Yeah, I said it, Brian. I said it. You know I said it, okay? So, yeah, it just came out of my mouth. And
But
yes,
I
that
mean,
is the reason that they have so
back
many, because of
back
infant
then,
mortality.
yeah. But as you said, like in 2020, it's not logical.
It's not. Exactly. But yeah, if you're going to do one thing ass backward, if you're going to do one thing without any fucking common sense, why not do everything without any common sense, B-man?
Yeah. So it's like I can't say I was surprised. It's in line with whatever else she's done, but it doesn't make any damn sense at all. They're not they're not commodities, they're human beings. And how good of a life are you going to provide for 3
That's my
more,
thing.
you know?
That's my thing. What is the quality of life for these kids? Because I grew up in a house with 5 kids, and you've heard my stories. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like, you know, anything, honestly, these days, anything over 2 kids is not fair to your kids. It's really not, like, I mean, I just don't, I can't see a good reason for it. Um, because it's not, it's exactly what I said. They had so many of them back in the day because they needed them to work in the fields and to cover infant mortality, and that's not the case anymore. So why are you taking us back to the old school? Like, nobody wants to ride that bus with y'all. Like, we're good. We're good up here. We like having lights and running water. So,
I have to add one other group, which was which was like the kind of cultish people, the cult leader or cult family people. They just add more and more and more on because they.
right.
Then again, those people are way off the grid, But it's like that's kind of what it reminds me of.
Yeah, it does. It has a cult feel to it. It really does. And I kind of feel like the anti-vaxxers are cultish. They I mean, you've got to figure they're doing the same thing as every other cult that we're out here dealing with. They have whatever reason for believing whatever propaganda is being pushed. They don't listen to any sense whatsoever. They're so ironclad in their beliefs that they're willing to trade lives for it. I mean, basically, it's a cult.
I agree.
That's what really gets me is, I can almost, Brian, and not fully, but almost, I can almost see if they were raised in like one of those crazy ass hippie communes that we had everywhere in the 70s, or if like, their mama was a certified whack job anti-vaxxer, then I could almost give them the benefit of the doubt and say, you know what, girl, you were raised like that. You don't know any better. This bitch I know knows better. Her mama ain't no fucking whack job. She comes from normal people. So where this came from, I swear to God, I don't even know. You know,
These days, I mean, as well as anyone, you can get sucked into the void online, and it is powerful enough for people to just completely immerse their entire lives into whatever thing that they're into. It seems, I mean, in comparison to, previous generations, it seems almost unfathomable, but in reality, people spend so much, especially with, with what's going on now, man, people spend so much time online. I can see, somebody just slipping in, getting involved. The dang, what you call it, the incel people, like
Oh
they just
God.
get sucked in,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Well, here's my thing, B. I think that a lot of the anti-vaxxer issue is these bitches don't have jobs. Okay. If you made these bitches go to work 40 hours a week, I bet you their crazy asses would tone that shit right on down, because you can't have beliefs like that when you got to run your kid to the daycare before you go your ass and sit to the job, like you can't be out there homesteading when you got to be on the job 45 hours this week and they expect you to be at that fucking time clock at 8 o'clock in the morning, whether you got goats in the damn pasture or not. It's I don't give two hot damns. You better be ass clocked in and sit at that desk whenever I walk by. So I
well, I
kind of feel
mean,
like,
you kind of need a lot of free time to indoctrinate the children,
I mean, I feel like this whole scenario with these, because the anti-vaxxer movement has picked up so much recently, I really do feel like this new crop is going to bring us some kids we really don't want to deal with. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do. I feel like this whole group of these bitches over here that are doing this shit are fixing to bring us some badass kids that we don't want to deal with. Like, they just don't do things the same. You know what I'm saying? Like all that homeschooling and the kids never knowing anybody but the homestead, and I feel like it's fucking them up. You know what I mean? I feel like it's not giving these kids a chance to socialize and grow as human beings, normal human beings, and I mean, we've seen in the past what that does to these kids. It's I just don't feel like this whole scenario that they have going on is going to give us, a crop of good results, is what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, you're right. If you look at, let's say, the children of the people who were involved in, let's say, Jonestown, Heaven's Gate, Branch
Oh
Davidian,
yeah,
so on and so
bro.
on.
Yeah.
Those kids are fucked up for life.
Fuck
I mean,
yeah, they are.
that kind of psychological damage. I mean, it would take decades upon decades of therapy to even scratch the surface with that. So you just you kind of compare that to what they're doing here. I mean, it's like you said, it's the same kind of thing. They don't have a
Exactly.
chance. They don't have a chance to like be exposed to different ways of life, literally, and
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
and and
They
and,
can't
and
fit in.
choose.
They cannot fit in. They're so far. Check this out. Did you know that with the Heaven's Gate cult, after all those members killed themselves and shit, there's still a member there who, okay, this is what I got from Reddit the other day, which, I'm always learning something new there. But there was a man who was not allowed to go on the suicide mission with them because he masturbated too frequently. His ass is the one that's sitting there. Yes, Brian. Yes, I said that and I meant that. So his ass is sitting there answering the damn emails and shit after everybody else done off themselves, and went to the big spaceship in the sky, So it it's just, how do they all leave you and for that reason, they all leave you for excessive masturbation, and yet you are still willing to answer the emails and the calls. What's that say about you as a person?
Number one, you're typing with one hand. That's the first thing.
Okay.
I, I don't know. Those people, they're so far gone. It's hard to understand or
I
draw
don't
into it.
I don't foresee myself, if for whatever reason they tell me I can't go to the big spaceship in the sky. I don't really care what the reason is. I'm not going to sit around and play secretary after they're all gone. You know, if that's my, I really feel like this is our eternity, and you fuck faces left me, you know, for whatever reason.
They're
This
like,
ain't cool. I don't want to.
excuse me, hold up.
Yeah, like I'm not. Fuck y'all is what I'm gonna say. You know, I'm be like, well, these motherfuckers not gonna have me around here answering these damn phones and shit like some kind of fucking weirdo. You know, like I just wonder where you have to be mentally as a person in order to, I mean, think that you had what, a second shot at the big spaceship in the sky, or you just he just ain't got no other friends. You know what I'm saying?
Well, his friends are all gone now.
Yeah, his friends, they took that trip. You know, so I don't understand, but they're weird. They're weird, and I'm not afraid to say that. I'm not. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna say it twice, so nobody is mistaken about what I just said. That whole fucking scenario, the whole anti-vax scenario, the whole 15 kids and homesteading scenario, that whole shit, you bringing about some bad results. You know what I'm saying? Like these kids ain't fitting in. You don't want your child to be the excessive masturbator that's left behind whenever everybody goes to the big spaceship in the sky. So let them go to school and be socialized. You know, like it's fucking these kids up, man. Really, I'm telling you, B, it is. So how about the crazy bitch from Idaho that killed her kids, the Valo bitch? I guess they're in court this week. Okay. So I get my little news, you know, and whatever. I got to get my court TV in whenever there's some shit like this, because you know they break the case down for you and give you all the notes and shit. You know, then they got lawyers that come in and speak on the. And you know, I'm very very into my trials. So anyway, they played a conversation between her and her husband, and apparently he's the one. What did I say? He was the one that's going to be charged with the murder. He's the one that's being charged with the murder. So she is, that's what I'm telling you. If I laid $20 on every time in my life I've ever been right, well, we would not be sitting here having this conversation. We would be sitting in some foreign place having this conversation, counting our money. You know what I'm saying? However, um, so the scenario is this. They played this jailhouse conversation between this bitch and her husband. Okay. Um, you can hear him when they were both in jail. I don't know how the fuck they arranged that, but I'm gonna presume three-way. But he tells her they're out there searching the property, and she says, "What property?" And he tells her, and then you can hear her like, I mean, it's like an audible click when this bitch tries to swallow. You know what I'm saying? Like you can hear the change right then. This bitch knows shit's about to go down. So you can't tell me that the bitch didn't know. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of feel like how without because the brother's dead, you know, her brother's dead. So that was supposedly the accomplice to the situation, to killing the kids and whatever. Um, so who is it that's given them given the authorities this information that somehow uh, takes all of the blame off of her? You can't fucking tell me that that bitch is not culpable. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's her fucking kids. The bitch knew. How? What? Uh, Explain this to me, because I really don't get it.
So has her husband actually admitted to anything yet, or is that still being well, I think
Um,
it's still going to trial, right? So
right.
I just
So,
I wonder hmm, I wonder if like if they suspect that he did the actual murders and that she just was an accomplice to it or something like that. But even
Yeah,
so,
what they think that the brother, her brother, the one that just died not too long ago, apparently they think that he is the one that was helping her husband to basically get rid of these kids' bodies, you know. Um, so
that's
what I
very
want to know,
crazy. I mean, she has to be like, what is it,
oh, she's got to know.
conspiracy or something like that?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. Conspiracy to commit murder. But how they have her brother on it, and well, okay, obviously not, they can't charge him with it, he's dead. However, I'm guessing what the story was that was told to the authorities is that, yeah, it was him that was helping me, not her. So I'm presuming it's him that said that, because otherwise she'd be charged with conspiracy.
Do you think that he's trying to like, and
I
he,
do.
the husband is trying to get her off? Or,
I do. I do. I think he's trying to eat the blame for her, and I don't know why. Like, this bitch has got to have the magic pussy. Okay, like, her shit has got to be 24 karat gold lined. Like, it's got to be. Okay, like, if she if she does not have a 24 karat gold lined vagina, then I'm doing everything in my life wrong. Okay, because nobody has ever tried to take a murder charge from me. Like, I really don't. I don't know what could possibly. I mean, his wife is dead. You know, whatever they did to her apparently is never going to come to light. You know, but I mean, that's too much coincidental death around. Oh man, dude, her ex-husband, her brother, his wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, damn, everybody dying, and then the kids. You know, I mean, that's five motherfuckers that we know of. That's a whole lot of deaths. Like, these bitches, look, they was going for a record, bruh. They wanted a
think,
medal, a tiara, a sash. You feel me?
but you're trying to apply normal logic to people like this. I don't think there's no way
Now they're out there.
yeah, like, we'll never understand it because there is whatever kind of relationship they have, it's beyond a normal person's comprehension. You know,
Absolutely. And with it's more the crazy cult shit. Like, these people really fucking believe this shit. They believe that he's some sort of end of days fucking messiah. Like, bitch, okay? Listen, if you were the end of days messiah, y'all would not have to be killing all these bitches, okay? Like, he could just smite a bitch, all right? Like, if you don't have the power to smite somebody, bitch, you ain't about it, okay? You need to just go on and disband the end of days shit, because you are not it, homie. Like, I've seen some motherfuckers with some smiting power, and you are not it.
I've the past couple weeks or so, I've answered a few, a month or so, I'd say, man, I probably answered questions on Quora about like faith and like how sometimes it's hard for me to like reconcile the idea of faith versus logic. And like faith
Yeah.
is you have to have an unwavering belief in something, you know, despite whatever I don't know, whatever like science or whatever facts or what have you tells you, you have to like be unwavering in that belief. So it's taking this aspect obviously to like the nth degree, but and this is where like I it's hard for me to understand because if you're looking around at all the surroundings, all the circumstances, all the facts and stuff, like this is crazy. But
It is crazy.
but I'm
It is.
I'm I'm thinking with my own brain, not their brain, So
I don't I don't I don't know, what the obsession is that people have with just completely and totally fucking their lives up. But these people are like, what would be great? Here's what would be really awesome. I think we should go ahead and form a doomsday cult. We're going to go ahead and make you the supreme leader. And basically, we're going to murder everybody around us, and then we're going to kill ourselves. So I got 40, 50 people over here I can bring in. And if you bring your 40, 50 people, we could be on the 10 o'clock news, you know? Like, what's the fascination with being so far outside of the mainstream that this is the type of scenario that we end up in? Tell me that.
I don't know, but there was a time where I did like a deep dive into a lot of these, more infamous cults. One thing that stood out with the people is that the people were like weak, weak-minded, weak-willed, easily
Followers.
easily coerced. And anybody, like a person that has some charisma about them, silver tongue, like they can talk these people who are just mentally just very fragile into doing something that they would not normally do, or that a normal person would normally do. So,
right.
And there's where I think, yeah, you can take somebody who, let's say, just socially is completely inept, just, self-esteem, rock bottom. You could take them, and if you give them the opportunity to feel like they belong to something,
yeah, they'll do just about anything.
Man, right. So that's why these people are so easily led to being on the fringes or just completely outside of society, because they want to belong to something. And if
so badly.
Yeah.
But I guess that says to me, you're willing to sacrifice everyone and everything that you know, that you care about. Like, I mean, these people, some like this bitch, she was married with kids, but this dude has somehow convinced you that he's the Messiah and that you are destined to be married to the Messiah. Yeah, and that to me, I guess, speaks to her narcissistic nature. Like, she's got to be just the queen of the narcissist if she thought, for anyone to be like, if I thought Christ was going to climb down off the cross and propose to me, number one, we need to get me some help. Okay. B, number two, I've got to be the vainest bitch I know. All right. There are plenty of bitches that are doing things heavy out here in the streets. Okay. Like, I'm not even feeling like I'm in that category to be the wife of Christ. You feel me? Like, I just don't have my shit together like that, So what in the hell would actually say to a woman, you know what, you really got your shit just banging. You should be the wife of Christ, Like, I guess I'm just not that vain. I guess I can't.
You couldn't, you couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. Because
nah.
No.
I second guess myself too much. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, I'm not real sure. Let me ask Christ.
You would have to, I don't know. Can't even imagine. Jesus.
Yeah, could you? Could you even imagine me trying to walk around here parading like the wife of Christ in my Louboutins? And yes, in my Louboutins with an attitude, like, hold on. Do you know who I am? Like, I'm the wife of Christ, okay? I need you to please back away from my Louboutins. Like, that's...
I'm not seeing it.
It's not feasible, B. It's not feasible, because I'm not that type of broad. I'm not doing things like that. I'm not feeling like, I'm not feeling like I'm infallible, that I'm not that. And I know that. And what would it take, to honestly, as a woman, believe that you are that kind of material, bitch? Like, you off in your own fucking, your vanity is off the charts, ho. Like, you give Naomi Campbell a run for her money. Like, that's serious vanity right there.
See, I think the vanity comes like after or seconds, because first you have to pull them in, then you build them up, because initially you're kind of offering your what did I say months ago, the jingling the keys,
Yeah, you jingling.
Bring them
Don't
in.
you don't you jingle your keys at me, boy.
Like, yeah, you got to bring them in, and at that point,
Yeah.
they are just looking for something. Okay, think about this. Think about, let's say, a woman who has never, ever, ever been been on a date or been told that they look pretty, that they look attractive, or
Okay.
been a marriage or something like that that's been years and years since they felt wanted, right? And then
These
you
are
take,
the same bitches.
go ahead.
These are the same bitches that you can't send them into the prisons to be nurses,
Right.
because the second they get somebody in their ear, they busting his ass out of the damn joint.
The nurses, the guards. I mean, we're talking about the same thing.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Um, and then you take somebody, you take this guy who gives them a sense of it gives them affirmation, makes them feel something that they either had not felt before or hadn't felt in 20, 30 years, whatever it is.
Exactly.
They will run, they'll break them out of prison, they'll do anything and everything for this person,
They will.
So take that, right? That's how you reel them in. It's like you the kids in front of them, and then you build them up, and then they get that attitude, that they can walk on water. Speaking of Jesus, it's this toxic, this toxic process, but it works with all the culture talking about. It's worked with those girls who followed Manson.
Oh yeah.
It's powerful, So I mean, I don't understand how you get to that point, but I see the steps,
Right. And I do too, but I guess just as a normal everyday broad sitting here trying to wrap my brain around, being in that type of a scenario where I thought even for a moment that I was beyond reproach, for whatever, that I thought that I could sacrifice my friends, my family, my children, that for some strange reason I was, you know, uh, afforded the authority to decide who's good enough to live and who isn't, I mean, these bitches had a rating scale and everything, Who in the fuck do you think you are? That's what I want to say to this bitch, Who in the absolute fuck gave you any sort of authority? Because it needs to be rescinded, bitch. You've abused it, I cannot comprehend the level of narcissism that, I mean, it's mind-boggling, and yet it apparently is not. It's not that uncommon. It's really not.
Well, think about this as well. Is if you take somebody, like one of these women that I mentioned, who has not only never had someone make them feel good, but also has never had any kind of authority. Take somebody, any kind of authority, any kind of agency, and you give them power, it's going to go to their head.
Oh yeah.
It is. So you take that along with everything else. People who, I mean, I'm talking essentially about that Stanford prison experiment, essentially, but
Yep.
people who have never had any.
I remember that. Actually, that was a really good. Forrest Whitaker was in the movie for
The
that.
experiment. Yes.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah, so, it was really good.
But that kind of thing, you take people who have never had any kind of authority, any kind of power, any kind of anything, and then they suddenly get it, and the power. In this case, we're talking about the power of life and death, the power to reject people, all that kind of thing. Yeah, that's when that vanity comes in, and that like a rush of blood to the head. It does a lot of damage for people who have never had any kind of power before, and that's. I mean, what's that old phrase about what power corrupts? Absolutely. I mean, it can for people who just have never had it, and then once they get it, they don't want to let it go. And that's
absolutely.
Also why.
Go ahead.
You can, if you're one of these cult leaders, you can play your women off of each other, you know, competing for each other for the crown of being, you know, number one, or I guess number two, you know. It's all, I mean, it's all manipulation we're talking about, but like that's how they do, you know.
Yeah. This is like abusive relationship times 22 type of, you know, gaslighting. Like these dudes are just like, I'm not okay. You know factually that a dude is not only sleeping with you, but now he wants you to bring him your 13-year-old daughter, your 9-year-old daughter. Like, what woman? Here's my thing, okay? Like, listen, I know what I am as a chick, okay? But even I would have to be like, dude, what the fuck? Like, am I not doing something right where you need 12 other wives and 2 of them have to be my, you know, preteen and teen daughters? Like, what's really happening here, bruh? Like, there's just no way that this uh this power that you feel is between us is happening if you got to have 12 other wives, you know. Like, I'm not picking up what you're laying down, dude. I need you to explain this to me, you know. Like, I can't feel like what the fuck is what would ever go through your head to where it.
Well, you got to remember how he sells them on it, how he manipulates them on it. If from the very beginning his whole thing's like, what's a I don't know, like, let's say, like, I don't know, seeds or seedlings or something like that. For example, like,
Uh-huh.
I need to like, call those women his seedling. I need to spread my seed to all the seedlings to repopulate the earth after the great fall or whatever it is, you know. Like,
Uh-huh. But
I
see, I'm
think,
gonna say to him, I'm gonna say at that point though, hey dude, we ain't at that point. You feel me? We ain't at the start over point. So I'm gonna need you to just cool your jets until then, homie. Like, shit ain't necessary yet. Like, you
see,
know?
you are a bad example of that because you have too much common sense. You have
Yeah.
too much
And
wherewithal.
self-esteem.
Self, yeah, exactly. Like, you couldn't be in the scenario,
Hell to the nah.
you know. So
I'd be like, listen, bitch, you got to get the fuck out of my face with this dumbass shit. You know, I, I can't, I just can't see it. I can't, man, I can't see it. You know, like
nor
this is,
should you, you know. But we're not,
it's the
again.
least plausible type of shit.
But we're not talking about normal people. That's thing. Even I have to keep, you know, telling myself, like, we're not talking about normal people who think
Yeah.
rationally. Like, this is, and you
So
know,
far outside of normalized society.
yeah, and non-rational thinking, that's my kryptonite, you know. But I
I
have to
know
take
it
myself
is,
out
bro.
of it and, like, say, okay,
I know it is, bro.
get into the mindset of, you know, it's hard, but I'm trying to put
It
myself
is.
in the mindset of, like, somebody who's just so just beaten down that any person that comes along and gives them
Any
some
attention.
kind of, like, validation in life, you're gonna cling to them forever, you know. It's the only thing I can equate it to in my life would be like when I was younger and there was like a girl that I liked, you know, say, I don't know, high school, middle school, whatever it was. And like every time that she smiled at me, like, I would get lifted, you know, just, you know, just every little moment, every little, like, interaction would be just, you know, like, oh, you know, like an angel coming down from heaven. But it was fleeting. I was like, you know, like little things like that. I'm trying to, like, take
Yeah.
that and expand it by, like, you know, multiply it by infinity. That's the
Uh-huh.
only context I have for it. But
So it's like the power of a crush times 584.
that's probably the best way I can think about it. But then we're talking about, like, not just your you know, love and affection, like your soul. It's hard to fathom, but I'm trying to you know, put myself in that situation, and that's the best thing I can come up with is that just somebody that just
Okay,
oh
I
and
can
also
go
and
with
also
that.
also these people, these cult leaders, you know, they're not stupid. So they are master manipulators, right? They can
Yeah.
read somebody and they can know, okay, let's say for example, um, case in point, let's say they try to get to you, right? And they say, okay, uh, uh, so April, let's say for example, you had like 10 brothers and sisters, right? And you were the youngest one, okay?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so didn't get a lot of attention, affection from your parents. Always felt like uh, you were like last in line, abandoned, that kind of thing. He would pick up on that and be initially kind of a father figure, right? Until eventually you
Yeah.
say, okay, let's go fuck, because that's the way it always happens, right?
Yeah.
But he would pick up
Yeah.
on that, you know, like he would assess you and figure out what's your weakness or what he perceived as your weakness and exploit it. You know, for me, like let's say he was
Right.
trying to get you
The same thing. He's just a fuckboy magnified. You know what I
right.
mean?
A,
He,
fu-
that's all he is. You
a
know,
fuck boy
he's
with a stable of bitches. You know,
you're damn right. You know, he's a he's a three kings type of fuck boy. You feel me? So you know, he's a frankincense and myrrh type of fuck boy. So yes.
but that's yeah. I mean, it's the same kind of mindset, only magnified. But that's what it is. I mean, you're good at you're charismatic. You're good at
Selling a
reading.
bitch a dream.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
so, there is an evil skill to it. You know, because
Yeah.
otherwise it wouldn't work. You know, like there was one.
Right.
I forget the name of it. But it also involved a couple of actresses. It was a weird acronym.
Yes, I know the one you're
Uh,
talking about.
what was it called?
Okay, in New York. In New
Yes, yeah,
York,
yeah, yeah.
and then there was some Canada. Yes, yes. Fuck. I
Yeah,
can't remember his name right off the top of my head. But
there was
bro, it's got a bunch of fucking bitches from Hollywood in it.
the acronym was weird, but I think it was called like Nexium or something like that. But it's like you know V and U and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
But
something like
yeah,
that. Uh-huh.
but there was one of the women, his top or one of his top women who would concourse the other women was an actress from that show Smallville, and
Yes.
she was like a recruiter, you know. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was probably the most. Let me think. Might have been the most recent one, like official cult that I remember from the
Yeah.
news. But like
Yep.
that was a good example. You know, just like he's at the top. He manipulated these his like top recruiters under him. They went out, recruited other women, and of course it's sex, it's depravity, it's the elf, the whole 9 yards. But like that's a good example of one. You know, that's how it works. That's how it gets them. You
Check
know,
this out. They branded themselves, the
I
chicks in
remember
that
that. Yeah.
cult. Like, listen, okay, check this out. All right. Like, I like me, okay? And you ain't finna fuck up my pretty, putting your dumb shit on me. Okay? That's not happening, homie. Like, I don't want your fucking brand. I don't need your little shit tatted on me. I don't need none of that. You know what I'm saying? You're not fixing to fucking do all that. You know, like you ain't fucking up my pretty with your dumb shit. You know, like I can't see it. I can't see me ever being in a scenario where any of this shit sounds okay. You know, and that's what gets me is some of these bitches, like the Smallville actress, like this bitch should about be having a normal life, wouldn't you think? You know what I'm saying? Like she's out here, she's got a career. She's like, okay, so this is one of these bitches I'm talking about. Shouldn't really have the time for all this dumb shit, you know?
But see, that's the thing is that no matter how like uh successful someone may look or how happy they may look on the outside, you never know what's going on inside, you know? So somebody who may have that outward appearance of success or happiness, or we're talking about, like, you know, women who are married. I mean, you you can never really tell, you know. That's the thing about
Apparently.
that. You can't. I mean, you never know what's going on in someone's mind, or you know. So there's no like one like standard example. I mean, obviously somebody who's, let's say, socially awkward and like doesn't have a lot of, you know, friends and social circle, like that's usually easier because they're by themselves a lot. But again, I mean, they've recruited people from all over, all walks of life. So
Yeah.
really,
So apparently he's pretty decent at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what his whole spiel is, because they really don't talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But I guess it's the same shit with the Scientology assholes. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got damn near all of Hollywood in their shit, you know? So I don't know what, like, I'm too afraid to even go near that whole shit. Like, the Scientology shit scares the shit out of me, dude. You know, like, they're the mafia of the motherfucking cults. Like, they'll have your ass sleeping with fishes, bitch. Like, they are not fucking around.
I tell you, no,
Like, I'm not fucking with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I'm a journalist and I don't want no piece of it. Like, that's the one group I do not want to fuck with. Like, Scientology, if you're listening, I do not want to fuck with you. Like,
I would rather watch Battlefield Earth again than to mess with them.
hello,
I don't
hello, you heard me.
know.
You heard me. Like, these bitches don't play. Like, they okay, you know, there's that whatever Leah Remini or whatever her name is, you know, the actress that you know, she decided to do battle with these motherfuckers. They had to put the shit on film just so, which she's like, like, shit get deep around here. We might as well just go on and start a little show with this shit because they got to do something. Like, they really are on another level. You know what I'm saying? Like, these bitches are like straight up fucking strong arming motherfuckers into church, you know? Like, what? I mean, what? You can't do that. Like, Jesus didn't go around putting bitches in a headlock and taking their wallets.
I remember there was an interview she did a while back. I think I don't remember if it came out or like they obviously they tried to censor it, of course. But I think she was trying to describe like Tom Cruise's influence within Scientology, because apparently he's like
Yeah.
they're, you know, higher up, at least in Hollywood, higher up members, you know,
Uh-huh.
and like it was something to read. I tell you, like, because you hear rumors about it and how much of a cult they are and all this stuff, but like they, like you said, they don't play around. They don't play.
And these bitches is gangsters. Okay, they for real. Like, they are like, you know, a Bible in one hand and brass knuckles on the other. You feel me? Like they're not fucking around. Like, I can't even imagine. I can't imagine, you know, and these people, when they get involved with them, you know, it's obvious what they're doing. They want all your deepest, darkest secrets committed to paper. You
Mhm.
know, I'm not telling nobody nothing. Bitch, you ain't getting on my fucking skeletons. You know how long it took me to stack them in that closet like that? Fuck you. You ain't getting it. You know, like, why would I do that to myself? Why would I give you the ammunition to fire at me when ready? Why would I do that? Nothing about that
because
makes sense.
because you are a normal person, and these people who get involved in this stuff, they are not at
No,
all. You
they're
know.
not. It's it's it really is a lot of fucking people, Brian.
Hmm.
Like, you know, I'm down here by the big Scientology shit, you know. Um, like 2 hours from the house is where they got their, you know, well, where they bought the town, basically. They bought the hotel that was basically the only source of revenue, and now everybody else is gone and it's all Scientology, you know. And that to me is very fucking scary, you know, that they are so lucrative in their business dealings, that this is the type of shit that they're doing, you know. um, I mean, I know a good real estate holding when I see one, but how much how much research did they do into, you know, where's the place we can go ahead and get all these motherfuckers out our way? Like that to me is a different kind of sinister. You know what I'm saying? Like
One, when you mix religion and money together,
oh man, it's bad.
oh boy, you already know.
It's real bad.
You already know.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know.
And this is not okay. Like I think what has stopped all these other little bullshit ass, spaceship groups has been the fact that they did not have the unlimited resources to pull off their bullshit. You know, um, hell, if they would have let Koresh amass anything more than what he already had, it could have been one hell of an issue out there. You know, um, the fact that they don't have the resources.
And there's where the Scientologists really, I think, it was a masterstroke getting these Hollywood types in, because obviously they have money, they have resources.
This is not this is not the path that you need to go down, because what you're doing is you're setting yourself up for a long line of failures moving forward. You're fucking these kids up, and you are isolating them and yourself, and no good is going to come of this shit. You know what I mean? And I have said that, and I try to stay out of other moms' ways. I know that everybody has their own way of doing it. Clearly, I wasn't meant for it. Obviously there's a reason. Whatever it is, I'm not sure, but there are some times where you just need to say something. And I mean, these women need something said to them. Like you're not doing your kids any favors, and you're not doing anyone else any favors either. You're gonna set these fucked up kids out on the world, and they're not gonna have any social skills, and they're not gonna know anything. And that's a fucked up way to do somebody and the people that you're setting them loose onto. So
You hit about something there, which was like looking to find something or someone to blame, and you could take that and expand that to what's going on now. Is trying to find someone to blame, but specifically with like anti-vax people, there's this resistance. There's been this resistance to scientific data for what 4 years now. But
yeah,
and this whole like idea of like fake news and anything that anyone other than somebody within either him or his little group of cronies is somehow just completely invalid.
right.
Not only does it not make any sense, but as you said, like you're doing harm to your own in your wrongfully executed attempt to protect your child. You're doing them a disservice, in the first place,
And everyone else.
and everyone, yeah, and everyone around you. And it's very difficult to convey that to these people without them then dismissing your thoughts, because you're just, it's fake news to them too. Like you can't get through to some of these people.
No, and you really can't. And that's the thing is like, like know what it was like for me to even have to, say something to one of these bitches, because I told you about the one who, after hearing about my, my girl, actually had the goddamn audacity. It was a nurse, had the fucking audacity to ask me about the immunization schedule and how, and Brian, when I tell you, listen, like, okay, I've come unglued in public places before, but it's very, very few and far between, because I'm one of those people, you just don't act like that in public. That's not okay. You know what I'm saying? There's just too much Old South in me for that. But this bitch, like, the inclination was there, first of all. Secondarily, the tone was goddamn condescending as hell. Like, even if I had not picked up on the inclination, I would have smacked her just for the fucking tone, you know. But I'm talking about, listen, it was everything I could fucking do not to. Had I not been seeing that doctor like my whole life, like I would have lost my shit for real. And I'm already, I'm deep in grief, so it's not like um at that point in my life, people weren't even blaming me for the dumb shit I was doing. You know what I mean? They were just like, "Oh shit, nah, you listen, just let her go. Just let her let her go on, okay? She'll be all right in a little while." But like this bitch, how do you do that? How do you have such strong wrong beliefs? You are so incorrect in your fucking thinking, and yet you're willing to try to take that angle to push it onto people. Like, bitch, I just lost my kid. You know what I mean? And you're gonna try, and you're gonna. This is the avenue that you want to take with me. This is not the avenue that you want to take with me, bitch, because clearly you have got me mistaken for somebody that I'm not, which is a patient person who's afraid of jail. So let's
I mean,
get something straight.
it's a like sociopathic kind of mindset to
Is it not?
in that moment to think that instead of just at the very least just commiserating, at the very least, to instead like push your own agenda upon somebody who was clearly grieving.
Yep.
I
That's called asking for an ass whipping, is what it's called.
that is the clinical
and you
diagnosis.
know I'm right. Like, that's called a justifiable kicking your fucking ass. So, like I said, I don't even think anybody would have blamed me at that point, because it was so fucking out of pocket. Like, who the fuck do you think you are? And then what? Even below that level, this bitch is a medical motherfucking professional. You know what I'm saying? So you got these fucked up ass beliefs and you're pushing them in a medical environment? Ho, please. Like, we need to reevaluate everything you're doing right now, boo boo, because you're fucking up. And it really, it got me the wrong way, and I came sideways. I really did. And I don't like doing that shit in public, man. I really fucking do not. But I fucking came so sideways at this bitch. Like, I think I call that bitch everything but Satan. You know what I'm saying? And trust me, had they let me keep going, I probably would have got to that too. But like, I just can't. And they're so hard fucking core, Brian. Like, she was so hardcore. They're just so, I guess they have to be, because they're so against normalized thinking that if they're not 100% committed to it, like, you can't half-ass leap off into that shit. You got to be committed to the fuckery.
No, that's true. That's true. I mean, you have to have such a level of conviction that it just bulldozes any facts that come along the way,
Uh-huh. Yeah. It's got to totally override, basically that portion of your brain that's still working on thought process for you, because none of it is logical thinking, and they are so fucking full of conviction for this shit, man. Like, it's like the preppers, you know how hardcore in their fucking beliefs they are. It's the same way with these fucking anti-vaxxers, and I believe they're kind of married to one another, actually. I think there's a lot of
literally in some
crossover.
cases.
I think there's a lot of crossover in those areas. The whole homesteading and prepping and anti-vaxxing, and I just feel like it's the same fucking group of people that we're dealing with. And they're just whack jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like,
they're like two sides of the same coin. I mean, all these groups,
uh-huh.
get away from everyone else.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, they're in the same basket, I'd say.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, and since we're talking baskets, like I think these are the weaviest motherfucking basket cases ever developed because these motherfucking whores, like, I saw one of them uh, on the local news, and she was all in a fucking tizzy because they wouldn't let her kid go to school with the rest of the kids. So they've, started this whole fucking committee, which, normally in order to send your kids to public school, they got to have at least their whatever. And I don't even think there's an exception for it after we had like some kind of fucking outbreak. So they've got this committee of basically let us send our kids to kill your kids. We're going to send our anti-vax kids off in here and infect all y'all's kids. So let's pray that you're and their whole moral behind their story is, well, if the vaccines really work, it won't be a problem, then will it? You stupid bitches. Like, you can't really be that fucking ignorant. And they are. They are. They will argue that shit with you like all fucking day long, but it's the same shit. Like, they don't have any new ideas. They just are basically repeating what they read on Facebook this morning, and it's so goddamn aggravating. So when I told you that I keep Laura Ingalls Wilder on my shit for a specific reason, it's because I find the whole group of them uh just absolutely fucking bonkers. But I do like to know what it is that their newest conspiracy theory is, because I feel like one day that information is going to pay off for me. Like, if they all decide to lose their shit one day, I want to be abreast of the situation as it's occurring. You know what I'm saying?
That's
I gotta have it in.
right.
I'm not gonna let them creep up on me with their fucking crazy shit. you know So I don't, and I mean, Laura Ingalls Wilder, I understood a little bit of what she had going on. I really did. I can sort of see wanting to, grow your own food, especially if you've got a kid that, that is not uh, right mentally or physically, whatever the handicap may be, of course you're going to want to overcompensate for that. You can't fix it, but you want to try to uh, I guess, make it as tolerable or as unnoticeable as you can, you know. So I get where she's coming from with that, but then not really, because
Well,
like,
the self sustainability
hmm
as a concept is
uh-huh.
not a bad idea.
No, not at all. I
Right.
mean, hell, I believe in the zombie apocalypse. Come on now, I need my solar power too.
But when you take it to the nth degree, well, that's where the problem comes in.
Now you're ruining shit, bitch. Now you're taking a good thing and you're ruining shit. You didn't have to take it that far, baby. You really didn't. You could have dialed it back, you know, way on, way on back. You could have dialed it back. Like, we've been begging you to pump the brakes for some years, bitch. you know, and they just don't see how extreme it is, you know. And I somehow, I guess I wonder, at what points does it go from some normalized fringe part of normalized, but still normalized part of society, to absolutely fucking bonkers, to where it's not even a logical thought process at this point?
I think it's a gradual like up upping of the stakes. We
It's a
start off
great, this hoe's climbing slowly, but she climbing.
right. It's yeah, like it probably starts out small and then gradually, as you get more immersed in the world, uh, yeah, you get more and more extreme. Then next thing you know, you're on at this compound out in the northern Idaho or something, and
Yeah. And shit has gone terribly wrong. you know, like, I could not, for myself, I couldn't imagine just full blast waking up one day and realizing, okay, we're way the fuck out here now. Like that 1998 me does not recognize this me, and how how do you not just wake up one day and are like, okay, bitch, we're gonna need to tone this shit down because you've gotten out of pocket, like i- is it really that much brainwashing?
Yeah. Yes, I
Because
believe so.
it's steady.
Yeah. I mean, yes, I believe it is that much brainwashing. I believe you get to the point where, you know, you said your old self is a completely different person. The only thing you still have in common is you still got the same DNA, the same blood type, but outside of that, you're completely different. You've been fully brainwashed, fully indoctrinated into the world, and and if your cult leader is doing it right, right in context, he will. Let me make a disclaimer. He will make you get rid of any remnants of your past. So you can't even
Yeah,
like use
because
those as reference points or like reminisce or like you
yeah,
get it all
that's
out.
why they separate them from everyone they know and whatever, and you're off in some fucking crazy spot in Idaho. And yes, it usually is Idaho. Like I have no, I'm sorry, but Idaho is not on my fucking vacation list. I want you to know that right now. Like, I'm not going there. Like, uh, there are a lot of other places that I want to see. Idaho is not one of them. It did not make the list. It did not make the cut. So,
I don't even
you
want to
know,
lay over on a flight in Boise. Like I don't even want to go.
no, baby, no. Like, there's no point in me trying to commiserate with some motherfuckers out in Idaho. I can tell you right now, we ain't got shit in common. Like, I'm not picking up what they're fucking laying down. Like, this is not acceptable. Like, I just really, I don't foresee it. Like, and these bitches are so just like, oh, that sounds amazing. You know what? We should fucking sell everything we own and come and give you the money for it and just kick it with y'all out here in this compound. You know what I'm saying? Like, we could be digging vegetable gardens all day, every day, in the hot ass sun. I think that would be a fucking great idea. And then when winter rolls in, and we're sleeping in these fucking shacks and it's 40 below outside. I mean, that sounds good to me. Like, I'm game, like,
Let me tell you something. You know what first made me skeptical of any kind of like religious leader? So let's see. So the first part of my childhood, right? We were living just over by Sacramento.
mm-hmm.
Actually, not too far from where I am now. I'm in a hotel in Roseville right now, and near
Oh,
Sacramento.
okay.
So it didn't occur to me till much later in life, but there were two churches that we went to. One in Rockland, California, one in Roseville, California, when I was younger. I'm sorry, I went to Loomis, one in Rockland. The one in Rockland, there was a big scandal. This new pastor came in, and he essentially like divided the church. You had the people who were, for lack of a better term, like supporting the old pastor, the old like deacon board, the whole thing. And my dad wasn't a deacon at the time, but I think he was like just coming up, so he had some influence, but I remember this new pastor. He was a young guy. He had, I think, like 2 kids, wife, 2 kids, all that stuff. He was 30 years old. I remember he was 30 years old at the time. Turns out that he tried to divide the church, reallocation of funds. There we go with the money again. It's always the money.
It's always about the money, baby. Always.
And of course, to top it all off, slept with one of the deacon's wives. So,
See, I knew you was going there. I
of
already
course,
knew.
of
It had to
course,
be some sex, money, and scandal. You know what I'm saying?
that's
Because yes,
yep.
absolutely.
So that I would think I was maybe we went to that church, I think, from like my age, like 6 to, I don't know, maybe like 10 or so around that time. But even the church before that we went to, I don't remember exactly what scandal was there, but there was some kind of scandal. That's why we left that church to go to this one. And then this one, after this one, oh, and I remember my dad told me once, he didn't say like exactly what the pastor had said, but something got him to the point where he almost wanted to swing on dude. And I think, man, I'd have to ask him again, but I think it has something to do with like something that he said to my mother. And my
Oh,
dad is usually a pretty, he's very mild mannered guy, but like to get him angry enough to like want to actually swing on somebody, like I'm like him in that, like I'm usually pretty calm. But like if you get me, man. Anyways,
it's on. It's
yeah,
on.
like he told me like he was like this close, like fist ball, he was ready to go, and he just restrained himself. And I wish I remember what he said, but it was something that the
See,
pastor had said about my mother, and like, but
my ass would
considering
have been on jump, baby.
considering what he'd been doing with the, deacon wife, I mean, hey,
Exactly.
you know what I'm saying?
This is why
But
you can't take my ass nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Because I wouldn't have gave two
I'm
hot
not,
damns if we was in a queue
listen,
or not.
I'm not going nowhere I'm not going nowhere with you. No, stay at the
You
house.
already know.
I already know. Nope.
You already know. Because I'm a fucking hothead, and
We're not even going to Ross or TJ Maxx or nothing. No, I don't.
like, okay, and see, I don't like public fucking outbursts. I really don't. But I promise you, like, if you take that ignorant ass step with me, you're gonna wish you had not. Like, you you can see the pump the brakes on my face, and like if you're not smart enough to heed that, bitch, that is your problem. Like, we're about to fucking talk about it. Like because I'm 0 to fucking 100, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have it in between. It's, I know, but for me, like, I just can't tolerate it, because to me, the biggest fucking thing is respect. If you don't fucking respect me, what the fuck is the point? You know what I'm saying? And if you're gonna stand here and fucking disrespect me in front of motherfuckers, now we got a real big fucking problem. Like, you gotta fucking nip that shit in the bud, because that shit is a virus. And like, if you think you're gonna get away with it, then this bitch gonna think she gonna get away with it too. And I'm here to tell you, ain't neither one of you bitches finna get away with it. Like, it's not happening. You might as well just go on and fucking no. So I can't and I think that in a scenario like that, where a motherfucker is on that much of a power trip to where he thought he could actually say something about your mama to your daddy, we gonna have a fucking problem. Because this dude is clearly fucking way out there, and that's the type of shit that's gotta be set straight. You can't just let these motherfuckers be out here floundering like that. So I
you know,
mean,
even